A Protoss? Cancel! What the hell, man? Making a drone in a Zerg versus Protoss? That's crazy. Only pro gamers do that. If you're a noob like me, you play the safest build in the book. 12 pool it is. I genuinely still like 12 pool the best. After playing it now for several months, I still think 12 pool is really nice. Like, it's very good against cannon rushes and proxy gateways and all that. And it's pretty good against, like, everything else. It's not ideal against, like, a standard expansion, I guess, from Protoss, but it is pretty good. Okay, so Ovi's going across. Second Ovi goes to the natural. We'll make a queen. 6 Zerglings right away. And then we send a drone right now too. If there is no probe blocking my expo, I'll cancel the queen and make the expansion. Okay, there is. So we'll start chasing it around. Try and trigger a pylon out of it. We'll attack the pylon with the Zerglings. Okay. Ten links in total. Overlord at 21. So this is likely a macro focus start here from Protoss. I don't think he cancelled that, no. We'll attack the exposed structure. Oh. I think I could have actually just run in. That never happened, so I was a little... I was like, what? No way. I mean, if I kill the Cybercore, it's pretty much game over, isn't it? I think I can kill it. Oh, it's a second zealot? Okay. Whoopsie daisies. Stargate did start. But not a bad beginning. We do have to worry here for potential follow-ups coming out of the Stargate. It's gonna be a Void Ray. Okay. I'll send that OV a little bit back. I will need to remake a couple of the links here that I lost. Which is why running in the main can be a bit shaky. I don't know if it's actually always the best move. I think it was okay there, but... Oh. He shaded aggressively like that. Good. Link speed. We'll let that one finish. I need to know if he's grabbing a third base or not. I think he kind of has to, right? My worker count is not that high right now, so I gotta be a little cautious about that. Yep, he did. There's also an Oracle there. So we have to go for a Queen March. I think the Queen March is going to be a good follow-up. Some Protoss players like to go Robo and then into Disruptors right away, which can be annoying, but... Okay. So I've got the Roachborn coming up right now. Got 3 gases. Okay, double Oracle over here. Oh, there's nothing. Oh, I killed the Void Ray. Okay. I've got 2 queens over here somewhere, don't I? Yes. Target firing down with the Spore Crawler as well. Usually a good idea. Okay. I'm gonna start marching. Brenda, Karen, Margaret. It's time to go. Since there is no base over there, though, I am gonna go... Or, sorry, no probes over there. I am gonna go ahead and make a lair right now. Because I don't know exactly what his follow-up is gonna be. Is he actually gonna try and defend it? Okay, I thought for a second he was just gonna hold on. There come the queens. GG. Very clean game. Alright, so for a while I was losing most of my Zerg versus Protosses, and the main reason why I was because I was doing this crazy thing called playing a macro game. It's nuts. What I would lose to was a lot of early game cheese or a lot of late game Skytles with Storm. Recently my ZVP has looked way better and I've been winning way more games because I've been playing far more aggressively. Like, I've been playing way more aggressively than I ever did. If you play macro games in ZVP, you gotta be confident in your late game, and besides like 4 Zerg players, I don't think there's really that many people that feel confident in their late game ZVP. Most of the time, a lot of Protoss players enjoy turtling really hard until they get to that maxed out Skytles army, and it's just really hard to do. I think if you are below the pro level, playing aggressively, like assuming you want to win, playing aggressively is the way to go. So I've been going for this opener for a while, 12 pool. 10 Zerglings in total. And like I said, at worst, you play against someone who holds it really cleanly on their side of the map and you're slightly behind. But at the very least, you didn't die to stupid stuff, right? So if this would have been a cannon rush, we auto-win. If this would have been a, I don't know, a proxy gateway shenanigans over here, we kind of also auto-win, assuming we actually see it. Or we realize that something is not quite right. In this particular case, my opponent goes for the standard opener, but he decides to forego the second gateway. I think that's probably the reason why this build kind of fell out at the pro level, because it's not very popular to do the 12 pool anymore. But the problem is, if you skip, like this guy's not even chronoing the gateway either. Like if you skip the second gateway and you don't pull probes, you can just, yeah, fall very, very, very far behind. I think I could have actually run straight into the base, but killing the Cybernetics core is really nice. We ended up killing the Zealot over there. We ended up killing the Cyber core here too. Luckily for him, he did start up the Stargate. Some Protoss players, after losing the Cyber core, forget the Stargate, and then they have to basically make the warp gate again, and the cyber core again, and then eventually the Stargate, which is the worst. So big picture over here. Am I really far ahead after this? Not very far ahead. We've killed 3 workers. I mean, I obviously killed a bunch of other things as well. But this is... yeah, this is a pretty good situation to be in. And I just like it because it's a more aggressive start to what I used to play. And it's safe against like pretty much every other thing. So I've been making a lot of jokes that macro... or sorry, that 12 pool is a macro build. But I actually do believe that 12 pool is a macro build. Because it's just 10 Zerglings, and then we transition from there to like a normal game, right? So his Nexus is super late. Especially for a single gateway response, his Nexus is super late. So this is, yeah, a very good position for me to be in. Also, obviously, when the Cybercore is down, they're not going to get the Warp Gate upgrade done anytime soon. So I think at this point, actually, I didn't really consider that while we were playing the game. But I think at this point, a Twilight Council transition, like Glaive the Depths, or, you know, any of those like Dark Templar openers or whatever, I think all of those are kind of off the table as well. I mean, he could still go for them, but they will all hit like 2 minutes later than they should, even with like this sort of defense. All right, and then the second variant that I've been going for a lot that I also highly recommend is that I've been going for a Queen push against every Stargate opener, pretty much every single Stargate opener. So I'm pretty sure if I would have let this guy do whatever he liked, he would probably sit there on 3 bases, make a bunch of Sky Tools units, get Psionic Storm, grab a 4th base, make carriers, and just sit there, right? Against pretty much every single Stargate opener, if I see they're making multiple Stargate units, so in this case, I saw the Void Ray as well as the Oracle, I've been going for a Queen-based push. So usually Queen pushes, what I like about them is that they're not super strict. So when Queen pushes first came up in his matchup, I thought it was like a super specific build, right? But this is more like, okay, I'm going to make X amount of workers. Sometimes I'll make a lair. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll have 40 workers, sometimes 38, sometimes 55. But at some point, if I see he's not in the optimal position that he should be in, so in this case, I mean, he's already lost a bunch of stuff. I know that this is not the situation Protoss really like to be in. He also ends up losing the Void Ray in the main base, right? Which is also a big deal. I'm basically trying to get 40-something workers. Then we make a bunch of queens, put down 3 gases, Roach Warren, make a lot of roaches, reinforce with mass Zergling, and then march the queens across the map. So in this case, I think I get the Void Ray here. If I'm not mistaken. I should have never had that Void Ray, though. I don't know what happened here. Yeah, so at this point, it's basically game over, right? It feels awkward. So there were times when people used to load up the queens into overlords, and there were times when people used to like bring a Nidus Worm across the map. This seems to be the most popular version of that right now, and probably the strongest, where you just march the queens. It's also the easiest one to go for, because you can't really mess it up. Because you just attack move the queens. You do have to make new queens, obviously, at home as well, right? Or like, you know, at least be confident that you can continue macroing. So a couple Ravagers over here. Want to aim for structures or Void Rays or whatever. But, yeah, once the queens arrive, I mean, we got so much transfusion energy. There's really no way that he can hold that. So I really much prefer playing this way than playing the more macro-focused style. I don't know what my win-loss ratio is at. But yeah, look. So my Zerg versus Protoss win-loss is now at 61%. It's gone from being my worst matchup a couple of months ago to being apparently my... well, I've got the most games played as well against Protoss. To being apparently my best. So 12 pool is a macro build. I'll say it again. 12 pool is a macro build. I should change my nickname. Skytles fan. I can't change my nickname until next season.